You saw it in my first trail tested video. Now it's time to talk about it. This is the new Pulsar Trail from Salomon. It's a fun, dynamic trail shoe that utilizes Salomon's new Energy Blade technology for a ride that runs like a road shoe but gives you a lot of what makes Salomon great on the trails. The upper is made of thicker, durable mesh and the classic Salomon Endo Fit internal sleeve for a comfortable yet solid fit across the midfoot. The Energy Surge midsole is familiar yet squishy and more responsive and protective than I expected with that Energy Blade plate inside. The outsole, while lacking deeper lugs, provides a sticky grip that delighted me on sloppier trails. In all, this shoe is fun, dynamic, and honestly excites me more than that heavily marketed Ultra Glide from last season. All that being said, there are a couple of things that bug me about the Pulsar Trail, and we're going to talk about those in today's review, so let's dive in. Ginger Runner. What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. Today, we're going to be chatting about this. It is the Salomon Pulsar Trail. Now, the shoe might look familiar. I've talked about it on this channel before with my trail tested series. It's actually the first shoe that I tested for that series. Basically pulled it right out of the box, took it out on the trails, and talked about it in real time. Thoughts, positives, negatives, things that I encountered on the trail. Now, what's great now with well over 60, 70 miles in this shoe is that a lot of my thoughts that I initially felt about the shoe are pretty similar to now where I'm at with it. Before I start getting into my opinions, though, I have to point out that these shoes were provided for review by Running Warehouse. I'm under no obligation to say anything positive or negative. I'm also not financially compensated in any way for anything that I say in this video. No one has to approve this video. You're the first to see it, so let's give yourself a pat on the back. Well done. Without further ado, let's talk about the things I like and dislike about the Salomon Pulsar Trail, starting as always with the things that I like. The midsole. This platform is wonderful. It is the Energy Surge midsole that Salomon's been putting out. It also has the Energy Blade in there, a little bit of plate action. I like this midsole in this application better than I liked it in the Ultra Glide. It's softer, bouncier, more responsive. It also has durability and life to it. Now, with as many miles as I have in the shoe, I was expecting it to break down prematurely. I'm happy to report that that is not the case, which was different than what I got from the Ultra Glide. That shoe barely lasted a few miles before it really started to break down. These, super fun, and I really like that platform that is included. The grip, the outsole. Despite the fact that the lugs are not super deep, this Contra Grip outsole is a really good rubber. I think it's super grippy. In my trail tested video and for many runs after that, I ran in sort of inclement conditions, basically wet surfaces, rocks, roots, all that good stuff. And it performed quite well. Something that I'm familiar with Salomon is this outsole. It's nothing, new or groundbreaking. It just works, and it works in all sorts of conditions. So great grip on this. I liked it. The fit. Primarily through the midfoot. I'll talk more about the toe box here in a bit. This fit through the midfoot, primarily this lacing system, being able to lock it down, the Endo Fit, Sensa Fit, all the different Salomon tech that they're using in this shoe to help it lock down on your foot works. It's something that I like. I know some people have a bit of a problem with this lace system. I've never really had an issue. It does break in more, so it will require some adjusting over time. But what I'm feeling in this shoe is that it holds on to my foot really well, and it is comfortable for me, and that is a good thing. That being said, it's not all water park visits and ripping White Claws with millennials. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the Pulsar Trail. Let's get to those now. It's narrow. I feel like this is something I talk about with every Salomon shoe that I review. The forefoot, primarily, is not that forgiving. So if you're looking for a little bit of extra room, especially on the lateral side of your foot, you're just not going to get it with this forefoot. That's also due in part to this welded overlay that they have over the toe box. While protective and certainly durable and adds that durability through the toe box, so you're not going to get a bunch of ripped seams and stuff, it doesn't really want to stretch. So if your toes need a little bit of movement, these shoes may not necessarily provide it. It kind of locks you into that tighter forefoot, more precision fit, if you will. They're hot. The summer months are upon us, and I've been doing a lot more running in this shoe in the sun, in those hot conditions, and I have to say, it just gets really hot. It's inevitably meant that I have run less miles in this as the temperatures have increased. It gets my feet all sweaty, and I don't really like that. But that is it for my dislikes. So there's not a ton of dislikes. They're just kind of important dislikes that I needed to make you aware of. Now let's get to our breakdown where we talk about 5 different criteria: the build, quality, comfort, fit, price, and look. Starting with build quality, I do have to commend them. I think this shoe is built quite well. While the Ultra Glide was a shoe meant to go long distances, I felt that midsole was breaking down super prematurely, even though it was Energy Surge. This Energy Surge, for some reason, is actually doing better. I think the plate adds some nice dynamic, but the build quality and the materials they're using are holding up very well. It's a durable shoe, gets you the grip, gets you all that good stuff that you have come to know. Comfort, I love the Energy Surge. I love that Energy Blade. I think what you get is a bouncy midsole, a really nice dynamic ride. It does have a bit of snap to it, but look, I mean, it's still super flexible. So you're getting some protection underneath, you're getting some dynamic bounce, some comfortable miles in this shoe. And that, I think, is what sort of helps this stand out to me above something like the Ultra Glide, where that was comfortable at first, kind of lost its comfort over time. This, not so much. Holding up well. Fit, that's sort of the weakness of the shoe. While I'm getting a great fit through the midfoot, I think the toe box is going to alienate a lot of people. If you like the precision fit, or if you like the fit of the Salomon Sense Ride, Sense Ultra, stuff like that, you might actually find this to be quite normal and in line with what you would expect. So you probably won't feel anything. For me, I just have a lot of sensitivity along the pinky and the smaller toes on the lateral side. This welded overlay and some of that actual design just made it a little bit tighter than I would prefer. Price, about 130 bucks. Not a bad price point. I recently reviewed a shoe that I thought was one of my favorite shoes of the year thus far. That was also around that same price point. So I can't harp it for being too expensive or, too cheap, but I think what you get here is a really good Salomon shoe that will last you for a long time, work at distances from, anywhere from a 10K up to a 50K. I think it is one of those shoes that will do quite well in a variety of conditions. Bringing us to looks. It's okay. Yeah, it's all right. Bright red, black, very simple. We know Salomon to be quite monochromatic. It's not the best looking shoe from when you are wearing them looking down. It looks sort of like an approach shoe with this big black rubber toe box, but it is what it is. Bringing us to our conclusion. So I would say that this shoe right out of the box has been super fun and hasn't changed a lot since I started running in it. And that says a lot because I think Salomons tend to shift when you get 50 miles in them, 100 miles, anything over 150, that shoe just changes. So far it's held up quite well and has just gotten more comfortable with age, if anything, but it will not work for everybody. I think the fit is certainly something to pay attention to. While the grip is great and the cushion is great, and I like it a lot better than the Ultra Glide, I think some people might be alienated by the shape, by the fit. That is something certainly to be aware about if you were looking at the Pulsar Trail or even the S-Lab Pulsar Trail, which is this sort of cranked up a bit. Right now, the shoe is still in my rotation. I'm going to hold off on using it for the summer months because it is so hot, and I will probably still hold on to it and use it more in the fall and winter months. That is sort of where this shoe falls with me. Bringing us to our final criteria. Is the Salomon Pulsar Trail a buy, try, or a why? Solid try. If you have not tried the Pulsar Trail or really any Salomon trail running shoe, certainly worth your time putting your foot in there, getting some miles in it. It is a shoe that will work for many, might work for some better than others, and some might just not like it at all. But for me, this is a solid try. I've had great miles, great fun in it right out of the box. You can go back and watch the trail tested video and it will show you my literal initial reactions to the shoe, and they fall right in line with how I feel about it now. And that is it for today's review. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you looking at getting the Pulsar Trail? Is this a shoe that interests you? If so, of course, I have links in the description that will take you over to Running Warehouse. You can get any running gear that you want there. If you are a GR crew member, there's even discount codes that you can use. In the comments of this video, let me know, have you run in the Pulsar Trail? Is it a shoe that interests you? I'm super curious. Let's get that conversation going. And if you like this video, if you like this review, if you like any of the videos that I do, please make sure you like, favorite, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, all that good stuff, social media links. But my last pitch, honestly, is just to encourage you to join the crew, the GR crew over at patreon.com/thegingerrunner. It helps the channel out, but there are awesome perks on the back end at all tiers and levels. We try to do as much as we can for the GR crew, and we just are having so much fun. So if you would like to join a community of global runners, people from around the world who are going through exactly what you're going through, all levels, all abilities, we would love to have you. We have a Discord server, we have daily live streams, we have conversations all the time about all sorts of things running related every single day. We would love to have you join the GR crew. So consider it if you haven't already. That's it. Thanks all. We hope you're getting out there, training hard, racing harder, and partying the hardest. I know I am. We'll see you guys next week for more fun. Bye-bye.